Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Passing Notes podcast. Tonight, I'm your host, Bart Hansen, joined by my friends and family, my younger brother, Jack Hansen, my father, Mark, and our good friend, Cale Jones. And the music I'm sharing through our generations is the album Employment by the Kaiser Chiefs, another UK alt rock classic, at least a staple for me growing up. Um, excuse me. Cut that out.
I won't.
So, I don't really have much of an intro to say this morning. I'm just really, really excited to hear you guys talk about this.
Mm.
That's what I'm here for tonight. This album is, I'm not going to say a guilty pleasure for me because I don't think it's as corny as, Alternative Champs or as silly. But it definitely has, some uh, less than serious aspects. And this isn't one I would go into trying to talk about the technicalities of the music. I'm just more looking for some reactions here, boys, especially from you, Jack, as my, I would say, closest UK alt rock fan
Sure,
in,
sure.
in in the pod. So let's just roll right into it. I'd like to hear this in the order I'm most curious about what everyone thinks. So from least to most curious. So Dad, I'd like you to go first, then Kale, and then I'd like Jack to lead into me. So we don't need to worry about who's going where. That's how I want to hear it, and then I'll round it all out and react to how you guys react. So let's get into it. The first track on this song, and according to Amazon Music, the most popular, "Every Day I Love You Less and Less." What do you guys think? Or you know what? Yeah, let's just roll. Hit it.
Yeah, well, since you are least interested in my opinion, it's good that I probably have the least amount to add about each of these songs.
Somehow I knew that would be the case. Somehow.
I'm meeting expectations. Uh, this one starts with an electronica sound, and I thought, hey, this sounds like LCD sound system. This will be interesting.
Okay.
Then the vocals hit, and no, it's more of a Euro punk pub band
Mhm.
feel. And I don't know. I'll say this. I did a little extra research and I listened to some other songs not on the playlist. And I will say
Ruby.
their version of Huey Lewis's Power of Love is the best song I heard from this band. Seriously good. I am not joking. Great, great version.
Fair enough.
And almost the accents are almost disappear. Um, and so does the pub sound. So I guess I'm not a big pub band guy based on this.
So did
Where
you?
did you find Power of Love? I don't see that anywhere in my Amazon queue. I
It was,
definitely haven't heard it.
it was a
I
video.
get on Spotify, man.
It was a
I'm gonna have
vid.
to check that out.
So you
Quite
did?
good.
I would assume Ruby was in your extra credit, was it not?
Well, I just know Ruby. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I didn't have any credit
Ruby's
assigned.
good.
I know,
Everybody.
but his extra credit that he did.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah, always a good tune. Okay, go ahead.
It's going to be a rare day, and apparently it must be a cold day in hell when I agree with Mark. Um,
We agree sometimes.
we have our moments. I totally dig this synth intro. I love the bass and the drum work. The guitar playing is really excellent and holds down the rhythm very well. And frankly, I could say that I am a moderate fan of this band. The vocalist, however,
It's so
Cup
vanilla,
is
you bastard.
half full. The headphones are half
That's so non-committal.
moderate. You betcha.
um, but this vocalist and his lyrics don't really care for. I found him a little bit annoying and a little bit repetitive. And as far as lyrical content, I didn't have much to say. I found a lot of the lyrics trying a little bit too hard to be cool, and therefore ended up being a little bit pretentious, particularly on this track. However, I think the band kind of takes the center stage here and kind of plays over parts of this song, which I don't really care for.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I've kind of highlighted my intro into the Kaiser Chiefs, and really the only glimpse I've had in the last podcast, which was the bonus track that I bought with in-game currency on Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, Ruby, that being the only song I know of theirs, but knowing their name because of that, nonetheless, never had I dived deeper. And knowing that, I would be interested into how you got into the Kaiser Chiefs. Was it just kind of that typical, you're a teenager and somehow whatever music you're listening to gets into, you know, British, British alt rock or English pop rock, whatever you want to call it, that it always seems to go? Or how did you get into the Kaiser Chiefs?
You're asking me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly what happened in that moment, like to get me there. But if I was going to go back to that time frame and think about it, I mean, I could be wrong, but it feels like thinking back to that time period, early 2000s. I think this came out in 05-ish.
Yep.
There was just a lot of crossover with some of these UK alt rock bands to the US. Like I remember there were a bunch that were just getting hot at the time. Kaiser Chiefs being one of them, Arctic Monkeys being another one, but I think the biggest one maybe at the time was Franz Ferdinand, and Take Me Out, which might have even been a few years before this. But it had just kind of, I don't know, started to sneak its way into fringe US radio, and Pandora had just started existing at the time, and I don't know, streaming music was becoming more of a thing, and it was becoming more widely available, and somehow this ended up in my lap, and it was one particular song off this album that was released as the single first, that I heard and really liked, and as soon as the album was out, I queued the whole thing up, and it just clicked with me early.
Cool. You hear Take Me Out once on the radio, pop it into Pandora, and it feed your Kaiser Chiefs. Or
Pretty
That's-
much, yeah, I would say so.
yeah, and Pandora will do that to you. And hey, great. So Every Day I Love You Less and Less. For me, a banger of a song to start off the album.
Thank you.
Personally, sung by a man convincing himself that he isn't in love with his girlfriend anymore. Featuring, there's a special feature in the song. I don't know if any of you caught it. Count Von Count is in the background. Going,
Really?
I don't even know who that is. Is that the
That's
Muppet?
the Dracula from Sesame Street.
1, 2.
3. So yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah, I really enjoy the pre-chorus and how it smooths right into the chorus with the S-O-S-O and my parents love me. That's kind of cool. I do enjoy that. The keyboard solo is a little goofy, but it fits with the song. Sometimes I wish it was a bit more rocky with the song, but it's a little bit goofy. It's like synthy. It's not like goofy as in it's just like kind of upbeat synth is what I mean by that. But it fits. Sometimes I wish it was a bit more rocky, but it fits, so it's fine. Overall, for me, a great start to the album, personally.
Thank you. Yeah, Kale, it hurts me to hear you say that you hate this guy, that you hate this lyricist. Now I'll give you there's some repetition, especially he loves to do the oh, or like or he loves to use oh like in the build, like there's
Yes,
one
he
of those
does.
just about every single song. I'll give you that. That part does get old, that like the building O's. But I mean that's just who they are. And you gotta understand that that's gonna be there in every song, and you gotta appreciate everything else around it. I mean, to me, I love this guy's lines. There's almost one line in every song that I'm like, you. I mean, come on. I can't believe once you and me did sex, like looking back, like all of a sudden, have you not ever been in a relationship long enough with somebody and gotten sick of them and just being like,
No.
I am so
He
over
goes, no.
I'm so over this, like, and I don't know what I was doing here to begin with. Maybe that's why it doesn't hit. If you can't relate to it, like, it doesn't hit. But for me, I mean, this one has definitely given me some satisfaction post relationships throughout history, and I can't play it around my wife anymore. Um, but if I storm out one night in a huff, I can play it in my car, and that's fine. Um,
Take that.
I love the snarkiness of it, and the kind of uh, self-satisfaction with the O's and the ahs and all the other background noise. I love the synth break, obviously. Um, and there's this cute little piano in the chorus. Otherwise, I can see how the 8-bittiness, sound can be a little annoying. If I'm in the wrong mood, I can normally skip this one, but if I'm in the right mood, this one just hits just right. So I agree. I think this is a banger of an opener, and I love this one personally. But next up, second track. This is the single I was talking about. This is I Predict a Riot, first song recorded off the album. This is the first one I heard, and I think it's kind of taken a fall from grace since then. But I think there's still, it's still worth a listen. So, what did you guys think?
Oh, it's an annoying song, very annoying song. Not because anything the band does, but entirely due to Jack going around the house shouting, I predict the riot! I predict the riot! I mean, I didn't like it from the first time. I hadn't even heard it yet. No, just kidding, Jack. Always nice to have you singing around the house. Or
Can I have you
that.
clarify that I don't sound like that when I'm singing the song? It just kind of hurts my, feelings.
I'd like to help you out there.
So, okay.
Savage moments. Somebody clip that.
It was more of a shout to my ears. But this is a nice little rocker. It's good, not great. Has some nice moments. Maybe a bit repetitive for me, probably because the hook is good, not great.
Yeah.
I like it moderately.
I can agree with your moderation. Cool synth work again at the beginning. Shout out to their keyboardist and/or synth player. Again, don't really care for the lyrics or really the phrasing on the verses. However, the hook is very nice, and I think does the job effectively. And I enjoy his vocals actually on the chorus. And overall, I think the chorus is wonderful. There's some great guitar work in there. And my man on the bass, whoever's playing the bass, got to give him a huge shout out because he's absolutely killing it on this track.
Okay, well, I checked my book and it's back-to-back bangers. I love the British slang in the verses.
Thank you.
Whoever the hell Smeaton is, when people get Larry, I tell thee. Not necessarily British, but it adds a bit of a charm that I enjoy. And the contrast of the cheery pre-chorus, la 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 la, or how I forget how that goes, and then like it's all light and kind of cheery, and then switches to "I predict a riot. I predict a riot." It's kind of funny. I always enjoy that contrast. It goes la 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 la. I predict a riot. I enjoy that, and I found it quite amusing as I do some of these other songs. And I can get where these other two are coming from. If you're listening to this guy and you're not in the mood, it's not amusing, right?
Yeah.
His things, it's like you can't listen to Roger Miller when you're pissed to hell. I mean, you listen to Roger Miller, you're in a good mood, you're singing, you just want to have fun. It's the same with this guy.
Roger Miller, you're already having a little bit of a carefree day. Let's be honest.
Right.
Unless you're not listening to it by choice.
Yeah, and so like he might, piss you off with his, kind of things that he does, if you're not in the right mood. But if you come for it, it's just gonna make you giggle. So, and certain songs have a higher, completion rate than the other ones do. So, for sure. But I enjoy this one.
Thank God. So, the other album, or the last Euro man we were talking about was Mr. Styles a few weeks back. Maybe it was last podcast. At this point, I don't really remember. But
it was 2 weeks with James.
If you remember, I had a little bit of an issue with that "I want your belly" line. Whatever kind of weird English slang that is. But compare that to this song. Good luck with old Leo Denzi and everything else that's in this one. I got no clue what these MFs are talking about, but I don't care. Something about that's appealing to me, even though I'm totally clueless. I couldn't tell you why. It just is. I know the words and I don't know what they mean, but that's fine. This one has faded to me a little bit over the years. It was the first, like I said, it was the first one that really got me hooked, and it's definitely not towards the top of my list anymore, but there's still some really nice things here if you dig a little bit, especially for me. There's some really, really nice subtle harmonizing with that part check, talking about that la 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 la. There's some really nice background harmonizing there. And it's worth checking out. And the somewhat absurdity of the lyrics kind of does it for me too. It doesn't make me want to riot, but it is what made me check out the rest of the Chiefs' work. So, we're going to have a little bit of a change of pace here. How about Modern Way, boys?
Modern Way. This will be real short and somewhat sweet. Solid track, nice mid-tempo number. That's what I got.
Insightful.
Thank you.
How modern of you?
My first note was cowbell. Yay! Love the cowbell every time I hear it. However, the music seems a little bit sluggish during the verses, but of course kicks back up during the chorus. And the verses, I think, following the tradition, are kind of stupid. And I didn't really have much else to say on this track. Sort of a third track, maybe filler song, in my opinion.
Sure. Well, I'm going to interrupt this little track by track here to get into a section that we forgot to get, which is the comments from last episode.
Oh,
got it.
Or should we call it just Jader's talk, because he's the only one who talks. And speaking of, we have a comment from Jaders himself. And this was from the Rick James Week, Garden of Love. He says, "I'm sorry I could just not vibe with this album, aside from getting it on. From getting it on.
There you go.
Maybe it's the genre. Maybe it's his vocal delivery. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how you guys be labeling Bart as the against the grain guy on the podcast. I've enjoyed every album he's brought, and his opinions are consistently in line with his own tastes. He's not just being edgy to be edgy. For all of the reasons above, he's my guy." Well,
my dude, J. Dot,
He would be.
spitting facts, straight facts. That's all he drops in the comments. Thank you. That's why I love this man. Stay in the comments. Don't go
And
in, please.
with
I support.
he,
I'm once again asking for your support.
Okay.
Jaders gets a complimentary T-shirt of a picture of Bart wearing a T-shirt with a picture of Bart wearing a T-shirt with a picture of Bart.
If you want to see an example,
sought
check
after.
out my Facebook profile album. There will be a few pictures of me wearing that shirt in there. That's a good example of what you'd be looking at.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so shout out Jason to the comments. They're consistent, they're fun. Thank you. Keep it up, bud.
And thank you for, I love that we have that I can think, somewhere out there somebody else is listening along with us. I really do love that.
Well, and we also have Sam.
Hell yeah, we do.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, so back to the back track by track. Modern Way, love the chorus of the song. It's pretty much in line with what Kale had to say, I think. I love the chorus in the song. The start can feel like it drags on a bit with the slow verses, and especially it goes like, I think it's like verse, pre-chorus, verse, pre-chorus, and then chorus. So there's a lot before you get to the first chorus. So it can make the song kind of drag a little. Not a huge fan of that much cowbell. It's kind of just there always. So much. There's so much.
It's pretty intense. I'll give you that.
I have a feeling that this might have been after the Will Ferrell sketch, so they just kept laying it on. For everyone who knows what I'm talking about. And then there's this weird ringing sound that comes in and out that I'm not the biggest fan of. It's kind of like a bell kind of ring that happens every so often. I'm not the huge fans on. It goes, and again, it's during the verses, so not a huge fan of the verses, but the choruses are great. Not the biggest fan of this one, but it's all right.
So, Jack, I'm actually kind of pissed you mentioned that SNL skit. 'Cause this whole situation, like hearing these takes reminds me of two things. So, one, I got to shout out to my mom's husband, Leonard, on Facebook. This man is huge on Facebook. He's always posting and he loves his like comedy meme pages, okay? He has a few that he loves and he's always reposting these memes. And, it's such an old person Facebook thing to do, but it's great. And they are really funny. Like, I don't know, maybe not in the way they're intended, but they're really funny. And he has one page whose format is always some of y'all haven't blah 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 blah, and it shows. Like something something something, and it shows. And it's always like some of you haven't ever drinking out of a hose out of a garden hose and blah blah blah, and it shows. Or some of y'all haven't ran away from the cops when they busted your party or something, and it shows. And to me, this one, if you don't appreciate this cowbell, you haven't seen the best of Saturday Night Live, Will Ferrell Volume 2, and it shows. If you don't appreciate this. But I mean, so, hearing this, some of you guys are saying that this song drags in certain points, and to me, the difference is like a song dragging versus song like building anticipation. And I mean, sure, the verses aren't going to change anybody's life, but I mean, it's all building up for that chorus, and I think the chorus goes hard. My notes are two words: cow bell, and it's because of how it switches from that slow tempo opener. And I don't know if you know it goes double time once it hits that chorus. And I don't even know if the structure is exactly that, because I wouldn't say it's cut and dry like verse versus chorus. It's almost like slow during the intro slash pre-verse, and it picks up like mid end verse into chorus. But either way, once that cowbell gets going, this thing starts banging, and it's like, this is the modern way. I mean, if you really get into it, I mean, this one kind of bangs too. It's a great angry shouting chorus line for me. But hey, maybe that's just because I'm out here faking it every day in this modern way. I don't know. But I agree. This one isn't a Nobel Prize winner or anything, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
All right.
Now speaking of, snarkiness and self-contentedness from earlier, this next one poops on every day. I love you less and less in that category. That is na 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 na. And I'm not talking hey, hey, goodbye.
Right.
Pops, what do you got on this one?
I like this short little number, and not just because it's short. Yes, the na-na-nas are catchy, but the verses are hooky too. This is actually a 3-minute ear pleaser. I like this one. Yes, Kale will say very predictable, probably, but we'll see what he has to say about that.
Speaking of which, beautiful transition, by the way. Our band is killing. These guys are killing on this track. I wrote smoking keyboards. Fantastic on that end. Um, and the vocals are very good at the beginning. And I actually enjoyed our vocalist on this track, except for the uh, "it doesn't shift me" part, which I felt was sort of out of place and kind of threw me off for a second. As much as I'm a fan of the guitar, I found the guitar solo in this song a little bit boring, but nevertheless, the band is doing a really nice job on this one, and I'm a fan as well.
Well, I'm kind of the opposite of Kale on this one. And
Go
Dad,
figure.
I'm not sure what you mean by verses because there's only ever 2 lines followed by na 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 na.
This is true.
Na
This
na
is
na
true.
na na. There's no verses. There's just 2 lines followed by na 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 the entire song. Uh,
Yep.
so I don't know how they can be catchy besides the na 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 part. But whatever. Simple. There's not a whole lot going on lyrically. For me, the guitar solo rips. But that is the highlight for me. The rest gets repetitive pretty quick.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, this one is so silly, but if you give into the silliness, you can enjoy it. I don't know why I mean, maybe it's obvious, but this one is so taunty to me. It's almost got like a Monty Python vibe. Like it's just a na 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 na, like look at me, what I'm doing. And I don't know, that kind of cracks me up, and I love the song for that. Um, this is the song that made me, when I was doing my notes the first time, that made me be like, wow, I never realized how much this guy loves owing. The like into like the bridge, or it's usually into a like building bridge. Um and but once I noticed, now I can't not notice, and it kind of pisses me off, but um that's there. There's a part around 2 minutes. If you're really familiar with the song Take Me Out, especially the intro to Take Me Out, it has kind of a signature guitar riff. And around 2 minutes in this track, it sounds scary close to that song. They almost could be interchangeable, and I don't know which one came out first. I'm pretty sure Take Me Out did, but kind of crazy that they sound so similar. But I don't know, same, you know, kind of area of music and same time period, so it's not unheard of. But to me, it's always just cool to find things that sound so close like that. I wouldn't call it a sample though by any means. I don't know. This one's a great jaunt. Again, not like 5 out of 5 or anything, but it's fun, especially if you're in the right mood for it.
Take Me Out came
Um,
out 2004.
wow, so super, super close. Um, Number 5, You Can Have It All.
Well, hold on to your headphones. Excuse me. I really like this one. The chorus is quite catchy. I enjoy the meter and phrasing of the verses, and musically, it's quite cool too. So, this is the big winner so far on the album for me.
I do not care for the lyrics or the phrasing of the lyrics. I think the band is, compared to the earlier tracks, the band sounds boring, and it's sort of a stupid ripoff of the 1960s ballad vibe. So therefore, it is an instant skip for me every time. Thank you.
Ooh, s savaged. Absolutely savaged that track.
So you're basically agreeing with me.
Yes, yep.
Well, I do enjoy this tune. The kind of carefree vocals combined with the light music and the childish rebuttal, the childlike sounding rebuttal of "It's not my fault. I don't care. I don't regret a single. I don't regret a single thing."
They
Make for
should. This song.
make for an enjoyable little earworm that kind of sticks with you for a little bit. For me, anyways, and the guitar in both the solo and throughout the song are quite good as well. As the synth sound, I kind of enjoy as well throughout the track.
So, this one to me is a little bit of a quick breather because if you're listening to this pod, you might not feel that way. But if you're really into the album, you've been going hard the first few tracks. I think. I think Jack would maybe agree. But this one, like I said, we're taking a quick breather here, and we're not done yet. So you need this break in the middle. I got two things about this song. You can have it all if that's all right. That's the best part. That's so melodic, so nice. That part of I mean, is it a chorus? I don't know what it is, but I love that. And there's a like an ooh ah in the background. Again, I think it's like some harmonizing vocals, or maybe it's just layered vocals, but this ooh ah, so nicely layered in there. And come on, Kayla, I'm glad you've mentioned him at least because their keyboard synth guy is
He's
a
excellent.
monster in a lot of these. He does some goofy shit on a couple of them, but on this one, that wee ooh synth is so good. I love that. And that's really all I have on this one. I guess I like the wood block in the back too. That's banging the whole. This one's banging like the cowbell on this track, but it's not. It's nice. But kind of a stopgap for me before we start going hard again. Oh my God!
I love the part where he goes, oh, 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 oh my God.
No.
That wasn't this one?
No, that's Lady
Oh.
Gaga.
No, it's not Lady Gaga. Isn't that Usher?
It's the
That's
next
Usher,
one.
It
man.
is Usher. It is Usher.
Still, I like this. This has a nice guitar. It's kind of anthemy. All things I dig, some nice twists and turns. And the chorus is a head-banging joy. This is a strong song. Kale is sure to hate it.
Completely untrue. We both actually. Uh-oh.
Pixie dust.
I'm
There he
fine.
is.
My camera just decided to stop working. I was still here.
Okay.
Completely disagree. Chorus works. We actually both wrote the same word, which is headbanging, and that's exactly what it is. And I'm all for a headbanger. And this one totally works. I love it. The bass groove is absolutely killer on this track, and the chorus is phenomenal. This is my spoiler alert. This is my contender for the vault.
Welcome to the Headbangers Ball, boys.
That's
Sounds
nice for
like we
me.
gotta hit the button. Woo woo! Banger alert!
Banger alert.
Instantly in love with the piano, guitar, and bass on this track. As soon as you hear each of them, they're each doing their own thing, and they all sound fucking awesome. Again, loving the contrast of the nice sounding verses with the light from the background vocals and the chorus coming in like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Just coming in exploding, only to die back down again, and then rinse and repeat. You gotta love it. You got another banger to be sure. We all know it. We've all said it. The only person who has not yet to say it is Bart, but still join me in on the alarm. It's a banger.
You already know. You don't need to say except for Bart. You know how I'm coming in on this track. I'm coming correct on this banger. That intro though, where you think you might be in a little jazz club for a second with that slick little the drum kick off into a doom doom. Do doom do doom doom doom. And then we got the piano doing some little funky shit in the background. Man. I think the intro throws you for a loop a little bit from what you get the rest of the song. But that guitar is nasty. Synth master at it again. Mostly banging some chords, but still killing it. And then, oh my God, I can't believe we're banging our fucking heads again. And it's just, but then, we're only doing that for a little while. And then we're chilling. It's so nice. Highs and lows. I Predict a Ride is what hooked me, but this one made me stay. And this one, let me say, you ever get to a point in your life where you're doing something you've never done before, going to college, getting a new job, moving to a new city, you bang this shit on your way there when your journey's about to start. Oh my God, I've never been this far from home. That'll get you in the right state of mind. That'll get you pumped up to get to where you're going. And it's going to be
Amen.
hard to follow that one, but Born to Be a Dancer's next. Maybe you play this on your way to your dance audition.
Maybe. I don't mind this one. I don't understand it lyrically, but I don't mind it. Musically, quite catchy. Chorus reminds me a bit of Elvis Costello.
Yes.
Not bad. That's all I got.
Cool guitar hook at the beginning. The chorus is decent, but the vocals absolutely suck. And I located it. At minute 133. He goes for a note and totally biffs it. Like you can hear his voice crack at that moment, and I do not care for that at all. The ooh oohs are fine. Not one of my favorites though.
Yeah, not a whole lot sticks out to me on this one, but I do enjoy the line, once you ask me what I'm thinking, I lay back and think of England, and specifically the backstory behind it is what I enjoy. Um, which is apparently that was taught to young women about what to do while having sex with their husbands because it was considered a chore at the time, and that they had
Or
to do it.
do it for England.
So that they had to do it for England, yeah.
Ask some married men, and it still is.
And we pity them. Yeah, that's all I got for this song. I wasn't a huge fan of Born to Be a Dancer.
Okay, that's fair, and I definitely get it. Um, this one is it's so funny to me. I don't know. The silliness it really appeals to me. It's it has this ominous piano intro, but we're not here to be serious for this song. We're here to be dancers. We're here to touch some breasts. Just lay back and think of England. Like that's what this one's about. And it's hilarious. Jack, I'm glad you hit the explanation. That's what I was going to talk about because I until we were doing these notes and I listened to this song, I think a lot of the reasons I like songs is the imagery they give me in my head and when I can kind of relate or paint a picture based on the song. And I like for this song, I always thought of a guy having a serious conversation with someone else, probably his significant other. And, they ask you, what are you thinking about? And he might give a bullshit answer. Like I imagine the guy sitting back in his recliner, while they're having this conversation. And he's like, "Oh, I'm thinking about England." And in his head, he's like, "Nah, really, I'm thinking about was I meant to be a dancer? Like, should I have been chasing this dream?" That's what I imagine. When on a little bit more research, it sounds like I'm way off base with that interpretation. But I still I don't know. I love that for me personally. It's silly, but this one kind of goes for me. I can I think the idea of having a kind of hidden dream, or something that you always thought maybe you could be, but maybe would seem silly to other people is a relatable and kind of cool thing, even if it's wrapped up in a goofy track. So I like this one. Um, I didn't want to have to do this. I really didn't. But I can't let my thunder get stolen all podcast. Because it's finally time for a Beat Hands initiated banger alert. Saturday night. Let's roll.
Yes. Saturday night. It may not quite be the vault song, but I think it at least deserves a lockbox. Love the effort on this one. Yes. Some really great parts. I love how the chorus changes lyrics each time. There's some great guitar on here. The first half of the song is good. The second half is really good. It's a fun track. I dig it.
Cal's about to hit us with the you'd be like,
This one really sucks.
actually.
You might as well just skip me. This song is a big thumbs down for me. I wrote my first and only note is you have got to be kidding me. So for that, carry on, Jack.
Unreal. This man completely subverting us.
This will be my last episode, by the way.
It's a French spy.
Yeah, I dig the sound of this track. The stuttering is a neat effect they do that they don't overuse it. They don't overuse it, in my opinion. I like the stuttering. Fuck you, Kale.
Is that what he hates about it? Is it the stutter?
I don't know. He just gave me a look, and I didn't like it. I like that they didn't seem to overuse it. They didn't use it the entire song. They just used it for like two phrases, or two little bars there, and then boom, they're done with it. And of course, there's the hilarious line of the pneumothorax is a word that is long, and that's the end of it. They just state that it's a long word. Thank you, Kaiser Chiefs. I now know pneumothorax is a long word. I didn't know that before. Thank you. Yeah. The background vocalists are nice with the ooh, or the wow, wow, whatever one. They like to do the same thing. And I think the song was just had a nice. It was a definite sound from the beginning to end. It's consistent. I liked it. I hadn't heard that kind of sound in a while. I like it, even if it's kind of outdated at this point, and probably at that time. But I still like it. Yeah, and, you know, they're it's fun. I mean, that's all they're doing. They're having fun.
All right, I gotta challenge this. What do you mean it's dated?
Well, it's just kind of like an older sounding. Like it's not, today.
I'm old and today.
Am I that old? Okay.
Well, it's kind of like
it,
it's like it sounds like it's like. Does it sound like something that would be in Greece? I don't. It gives me a certain image that of like an older, movie. That's the maybe Greece was wrong. I don't even think I've seen Greece.
Wait, what?
And then Grease Lightning comes on next in the same musical. What the?
Jack goes, it has a Grease vibe to it. Wait, I've never seen Grease.
I said, is it Grease? I don't know.
Yeah, but you, whether you've seen it or not,
This is more Greaser than it is Grease.
All right. Well, either way, it gives me a certain image that isn't of today. If you get my drift.
That's fine. Totally.
If it isn't obvious, this is my favorite song on the album. I love this punk sound in this track, and there's some fire lines too. Kale, I tried to explain this one to my wife because at one point I made her listen to this album while we were in the car running errands, and she did not get it. I was like, so I was trying to explain what I liked about it. She's like, I don't know why you like this. And it wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy to explain exactly what the general appeal of the song might be. But for me, I think why it's likable, why the lines are likable, other than that some of them are clever to me, is because they paint that picture to me. Especially when he's talking about watching the boys on their motorbikes. I want to be like those guys. Like I want to wear my clothes tight. I can just picture these biker dudes, and I can picture like an impressionable teen thinking those guys are badass, and maybe it's the imagery, or maybe it's because I wanted to be one of those cool guys. And this was a time when I was in middle school, and I was like, yeah, I want to be one of those cool biker dudes wearing sweet clothes and matching jackets and a fistful of notes,
Is that not Grease? Isn't John Travolta a biker dude matching jackets?
And even though I tried to do my best to describe it. Either way, way too hectic for my wife. She hates it. Um, I don't know. There's some good stuff here. The wah wahs in the background are nice, but again, I agree, Jack, on the stutters. They go so hard, like that punkiness. And for me, it's the creosote is pouring out of my brain like some fucking fossilized dino matter coming out of your head. I don't even know what that's about, but I love it. Don't get me started on pneumothorax. But this one bangs, especially on a Saturday night. Get you pumped up before you go out. It's great. And to me, this is I would be fine wrapping up on that. This last kind of quarter of the album fades a little bit for me. But we go all the way to the end here on these bad boys. So let's start wrapping this one up. What did I ever give you aside from an album you didn't like, Dad?
Yeah, I have a love-hate with this one. I like the lumbering beat, but I also hate the lumbering beat. And that's all I got.
Nice. You stated one thing and said that you liked it, but also didn't like the thing. So
Yes.
that tells me a lot.
You're
Again,
welcome.
how moderate.
It says it all.
Yes, I like this, but also I hate it.
I don't like it. No.
You've never had a love-hate relationship with something or someone? Come on.
Not once. I can say I've always been definite in my thoughts.
Okay.
Very dichotomous.
Yes.
Okay, this one I like. The chorus,
Oh.
I think the chorus is very cute on this one. However, the verses kind of bring it down. I think the verses are a little bit boring and a little bit stupid. And I don't like music that makes me feel stupid. Jack?
Oh, okay. You're passing it to me. I thought you were trying to say something that. You're like,
No.
I don't like music that makes me feel stupid, Jack. It's like,
What's your
this is the guy. This is the guy who brought you San Furman, okay? Which I'm still waiting for a rating for, Bart.
Huh?
You didn't rate that one. You said, I don't think I can rate this one. We'll have to come back to it. So heads up, my week is just going to be, we're going to go back and do vault weeks, but we get the week to listen to the set amount of ones that we're going to talk about. All right?
Are you serious? You want to do that?
Maybe it's not my week, but maybe we have like a bye week before we go into the next full rotation and do that, just to get that out of the way. Anyways, you can discuss it. I could probably do without the last 4 songs in this album. This is where it turns for me. I am shocked that, but also not shocked that Kale likes even the first one. My notes are for what did I ever give you? Ew, not a fan of the sound of this track. A skip for me every time, besides the times that I can't due to note taking.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. My notes, I got 2 things. Spooky, lol, what the fuck, synth man. The second one, this is a tosser, an absolute tosser. But it does have a couple lines that can snag you, such as, "Are you sick to your teeth?" I don't know. Be careful. That one can get in your head. That's it, though. Next.
Thank you. Next.
Time-honored tradition, right? Is that where we are?
That is number 10.
I think you're a little early on your tosser. 1 track, to be exact.
See, you say that, but I have in my notes, this one's a tosser, too. So,
Man overboard.
don't speak too soon.
Okay. You know, this song wouldn't be bad if these guys were a group of fun-loving, gnarly old fishermen,
Yes.
but they're
Yes.
not. You're professional musicians. And this piece of poo is beneath you. Or am I missing something? I don't think so. Toss.
You're not. The lyrics are corny. There's this disgusting, schmaltzy garbage. The oohs are just awful. And as Bart mentioned, the oohs can get annoying. And this is where I reach my limit. The guitar solo sucks. And the only saving grace of this song is the bass player. Thank God for him for trying to hold this track together. In summation, boo.
I say I throw out these last 4 songs, and then this one kind of like brings me back in, just like a little bit.
Get the hell out of here. Yes.
I like this one maybe a little bit.
You're full of boo.
It's a shorter song that's pretty consistent until the little explosion where they all start screaming, which is fun. And, they're like, we're just having some fun. They got a little nice giant. It's a time on a tradition. The reaper's reaping, and that is the end of that. Yeah, which is fun, and the break itself, I enjoy. I like this one. It doesn't feel like it's meant to be taken too serious. We're just having a fun time. And then that's the end of the songs.
I'm not gonna try and defend this thing. What is this? This like old drinking song, or like I think this is a cultural thing. I think they like communal songs that everybody can sing, maybe overseas a little
At the
bit more
pub.
than we do here. Yeah. Kind of pub drinking songs. That's the vibe I get here. Or I don't know. Is it something else? I don't know. Like I said, this one's a tosser too, and that is the end of that. Next.
Caroline, yes.
Caroline, no.
I love it just because it references the Beach Boys' Caroline, no. And that's really the best reason to like it. There's some nice guitar here. Chorus is kind of sweet. That's about it.
The synth is cool in this one. Our
yeah,
synth player comes back and he does a pretty nice job. The vocalist isn't terrible, but again, the chorus is okay, but it's definitely not their best.
Oh, yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Dad said, not a fan of this track. I do see the title as a reference to the last song of the Beach Boys album's Pet Sounds. Title, Caroline, no. But not a fan.
Wow, I'm a little disappointed. I actually think that this one was a little bit of a gem in the rough, at least as far as the last 4 songs in the album go. I'd like to know who's banging the 2 coconuts together in the background, because that's what that shit reminds me of. I really like that sound with the synth layered over it. I mean, I don't think there's a ton going on here either, as far as like stuff I want to talk about or stuff that you can't miss. But I do think it's a solid vibe, and this is a song that I don't need to skip. I can definitely listen to it all the way through and just kind of ride it out and enjoy it. So, Caroline, yes, that's a yes for me. We only got one left. At least I didn't listen to the deluxe edition. I hope you guys didn't. And the last one, number 12, Teammate.
Well, at this point in the album, my notes consisted of 3 question marks. I just had nothing at that point for this track. It didn't offend me. It didn't, it just didn't elicit any emotions for me, and that might be worse than offending me. I don't know. But yeah, I've got nothing.
This song is filler and ultimately garbage. Pass.
And here's where they start reeling me back in. No, I'm joking. God. I'm joking. No, this song. I don't have anything good to say about this song. There's a reason why the 3 songs before this, which we all agree are not stellar, have less listens than the rest of the songs in the album, and then this one has half the listens of those 3. So I think that's saying something, probably. Instant skip for me. If I am going to even delve into these last 4, I'm gonna skip what I ever give you. Listen to Time Honored Tradition, and then go to the next album.
Yeah, this one's a total toss. This is maybe the biggest tosser of them all. I mean, I had a few things to say about every track on here. At least something. I got nothing. This one, get it out of here. Get it out. Songs like this are what makes me think like, do I really want to pick this album? Or like, do I really want to pick? I don't mean this specific album. I mean albums in general. Songs like this that exist are like, this track alone is so not worth our time to talk about. Do I need to not pick this album? Anyway, that wraps this up. And I'm gonna be honest. I was hoping that we'd have a little bit more discussion here, but it was a learning experience for me as far as what will and won't elicit a response. I'm gonna assume that both Kayla and Mark gave it a fair shake. I trust that you guys do your homework for the most part, especially over a period of weeks like this. So I won't blame it on lack of listens. I think this maybe just purely didn't hit. But that's fine. I'm glad that me and Jack struck a little bit of a chord on this one. That's fun too. We can have a little 2v2 action. I like that. I like that I'm not alone, at least for once. Shout out J Dot. Never alone with you, but
We do have to wait for Jaders, though.
If he likes this, he's out.
Absolutely
Just
not.
kidding.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If anything, if he likes it, he's even more in than he was before.
I'm just thinking. Here is my prediction for Jaders. Is that fair to do? Because he'll listen and then he'll comment, won't he?
Tell me why we all love to predict how each other are going to react to these albums. Is that the whole appeal of the podcast? It's like, oh, I'm gonna get them with this one. Like they aren't ready for this one. Is that
It's a piece of it.
What's the psychology of that?
It's a piece of it.
We need to dive a little deeper into it.
Jaders, hey, look, he's a really nice dude, right? So he's not going to come out firing bullets. He's going to do some backhanded compliments because he's also a musician. He's not going to put down other musicians. So he'll say all the right things. But I think if you read between the lines, you'll know that
he'll be like,
he's not going to be that impressed with these guys. That's my take. That's my prediction.
Well, my prediction is he's played Guitar Hero 3, has bought the bonus song, has listened to Ruby, because I know that he has, because he did it at my house, and and he will at least enjoy one of the bangers, of which there were at least 3.
But everybody agree that Ruby doesn't sound a lot like these other songs?
Yes, I agree.
Can't listen to it.
It doesn't feel like the same to me very much.
Well, and to be fair, it's a different album.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is their first album, right?
I
Couldn't tell you.
don't know. Let me check real quick.
Or one of their earlier ones, at least.
It is their first.
Cool.
So keeping that in mind, it's important to understand, though, that artists grow and change, and their first one might not be the best. And in this case, I don't think so.
But to give you a rundown of their top 5, number 1 being Ruby, 2 and 3 is I Predict a Riot and Every Day I Love You Less and Less, 4 coming for a different album, and then 5, Oh My God, followed with Modern Way at 6. There's something about this album that's got 3 out of their top 5.
Every Day I Love You Less and Less, though, that's used for a specific purpose. That's why it plays.
Oh, sure.
It's sending a message. It's a message song.
Okay, Sure.
May
All right.
not be listened
Anyways,
to for pleasure.
let us debate. We have now entered the vault.
Nice little slam you did on the desk there. That made like a little metal screw noise. That was good.
Thank you.
Before we go any further, I'd like to quick ask ask the audience, uh, or maybe Kale, you could ask our friend. I don't know what the audio situation is over there.
Yep.
Did our listener listen to the album, or is he just listening to the podcast this evening?
He's just into the podcast, right, Sam?
Okay.
Yeah, Sam's just listening for this episode only.
However,
Okay.
let me know. The next album you guys choose, let me know. I'll listen to it.
Well, we will tell you at the
We'll
end.
find out shortly.
Hey, maybe you pick the album now. Who knows?
Oh.
Yeah, you can even vote on the next album.
Absolutely. We love any community interaction. But what are we debating? Vault track?
Yeah. I think we got these two votes. If I'm wrong, Kale and Dad's are on Oh My God.
I'm kind of torn with Saturday Night though too.
Oh.
I love to hear that because the Bart pick is a no-brainer. That's a Saturday night, no question.
Sure.
But I actually thought in my head, like the Bart pick is Saturday night, but the true vault pick is Oh My God, with the very, very close runner-up being Every Day I Love You Less and Less. So I guess I'd like to maybe let cooler heads prevail. Jack, what's your opinion on
Yes. For some reason, I have a hard time wrapping my head around Saturday Night being a Bart pick. It's not your typical sound of a Bart pick song. That's something I have trouble with. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a vault song. Mine would be Oh My God. I think that's. I mean, you said if I predicted right was your hook. Oh My God was your sinker. So I mean, you gotta have the sinker. I think a hook's only good for that one hook, but the sinker, that brings you down, keeps you there. So I think it's gotta be Oh My God. What's that?
From somebody who's never fished in his life.
That's not true. That is not true. I have fished.
Okay.
So
Once.
several
wasn't
times.
there.
I did daycare. My neighbor took me down to the creek a few times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Our buddy Eric.
Anyway, so I think it's Oh My God.
Yeah, I have zero problem with that.
All right.
I agree.
All right. And with that, we have to rate it. I am getting it a 3 out of 5.
Well, if no one else has an opinion, I will give mine. 2.5 is my vote.
Trying to find my previous vote list here so I can compare properly. Sorry about that.
No one has ever prepared for this rating.
Oh, I have mine ready. I'm a 3.7.
Whoa.
And now that I say that out loud, that's a little high. Let's go 3.6.
Okay.
Yeah, let's knock that down a point. That'll do it.
I'm a little generous. I'm generous.
True.
Plus,
This
you
is
gotta
true.
count in, user bias. I'm picking my own album here, so.
I don't know. Would I put this below Astro Lounge and Modest Mouse or not? I mean,
Surely not. At
there's
least
just
not
as-
Astro Lounge.
I mean, there's two good ones on this I like, and there were two good ones on that one. That's about it. I'm going to go 3.0.
Okay, plus 3.
Yeah.
Giving us a solid 3.025 average.
But what? Oh, God. What's happening all of a sudden?
Whoa.
There we go.
And
What was our
that
average?
does it
3.2?
for the Kaiser Chiefs.
3.25 was our average.
3.025.
Thank you.
025.
Yeah.
0.25.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who has the next picked father? I believe it is you.
Yes,
Hello,
and this,
Father.
and gentlemen, you will be instrumental in deciding
Oh God.
the next album. In my formative years, there were two ways I heard music for the most part, or listened to it specifically. One was the old mega stereo unit, this giant thing that had the record player, an 8-track, and a radio dial all on one unit. And the other would have been cassettes in my car. So my question to you, gentlemen, is which do you prefer? A album from my 8-track days or an album from my cassette days?
I'll include Salmon on this vote.
That's a
Absolutely.
no-brainer for me as somebody who's seen some of the cassettes that's traveled in your automobiles throughout the years. I'm gonna have to go cassettes all the way, and boy, you better have Boz Scaggs on deck.
Well, let me
Look,
put my input
what
in
you've
here as a
done to
man
me.
who's not completely sure what the difference is between the two mediums or the time period that is the difference between the two. I can't have an opinion. Therefore, I pass my vote
Man's
on to
never
Sam.
seen an 8-track in his life.
What?
This man doesn't know what an 8-track looks like.
That's funny.
Uh,
I
I
didn't
gotta go
anticipate
cassette.
that.
Sam says cassette.
I vote cassette as well.
It is unanimous.
I knew you guys didn't want to listen to any more of my old shit, and it was going to be cassette. I knew it was going to be cassette.
Hey, if you didn't want us to pick, you shouldn't have gave us the option.
No, you won't have the option the next time my turn comes around. But this time, I am sending, and yes, sorry, once again, it's Spotify list.
Really, I'm the only one who complains about that, so it's fine.
Is it a playlist
It's
again?
like the Amazon Music.
It's an album.
Okay, it's an album.
It's an album, and ba-da-da-dee. What's the name of this again? Passing.
Jeez. You could just tell it to us. You don't need to send a list necessarily.
Oh, okay. It is Jerry Rafferty's City to City album.
Ooh.
One I listened to a lot in my vehicle. And it's going to be very interesting because it's kind of a single sound cassette. That is, there's not a lot of change of pace in it. And it'll be interesting to see if you can hang with it or if you don't have the guts.
So with the city to city title and then every song sounding the same, is he trying to say something about no difference between cities, or
It's not that they sound the same so much. I mean, to the unlearned ear, you might think that. I'm afraid that might be what some of you feel like, but
sure.
I think there's enough variation in them. I like every one of these tracks. I know the lyrics to them all. It is a certain mood type of music for sure. It's a little mellow mostly, so we'll see. But you should be exposed to it by God, and you shall be.
All right.
Hale, you reacted like you're familiar. Are you familiar with this one?
I am, yes. I like Jerry Rafferty a lot, and I'm familiar more with his big hits, not so much the whole album. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. And for those of you uninitiated, just so you know, Jerry's voice should sound familiar to you. He was the singer of the hit song Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel. So, there.
Hmm.
Stuck in the middle with you.
All right. Well, that is an interesting tidbit. Do we have anything else for the listeners tonight, or do we just bid them adieu?
Adieu.
Bonsoir.
All right. Suppose
Kaiser
that is.
Chiefs, hey, not a high rater, but again, wasn't exposed to them except for Ruby. A lot of these were totally different, and never sad about the experience at all.
Nope.
Of course. It's always a pleasure. Well, thank you so much again for listening. As always, leave us a comment down below and we will read it. Next time, Jason, we're looking at you, but also anybody else who listens. Please, if you listen and you're sick and tired of us only talking about Jason, put your name out there. Let us know. And then we'll start saying Jason and blank.
You know, you don't even have to put your name out there. You could be anonymous user 69420 and we'll still name drop you in here.
Yes.
So, you know,
We will
just-
say anonymous
just-
sex number weed time. That's what we'll say. Sex number because it's 69. Weed time is
Yeah,
420. It wasn't that hard, Bart. You're old. Thank you for listening.
69420, dingus.
That's what.
All right.
Wait. What?
Close it out. And we're out of here. Good night.
This has been
And
Passing
good luck.
Notes, sharing music across generations. We're out.
Goodbye.